Do you want to take a life? Do you want to cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Arwen. Tolenilu. Ichaer gwannar navalano sibado no kirar.
I learned a long time ago that there's no sense getting all riled up every time a bunch of idiots give you a hard time. In the end, the universe tends to unfold as it should. Plus, I have a really large penis. That keeps me happy.
Now, what it's got here is a scrotum and nothing else.
Vagina. My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
Probably late. Oh, Friday night time. Radical light and highly organized. It's Friday night time. Friday night time. If you're still not offended tonight. Oh, Friday night time. Rest assured that the tenses are high.
Yay. Oh, yay. Remember the Tom Slick crowd? Any of you old fogies out there remember Tom Slick? We need to get that applause. That one's pretty good. What's up, everybody? I'm late to the show that was late. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. I'm late squared. And I was in such a rush. I knocked over Harley. Whore Harley, by the way. Not the true Harley, but the one from Suicide Squad. You know, we used to be a proper country. We used to. She'll be okay. She'll be okay. I haven't beaten her any worse than Joker has. And you know what? We need to get back to Joker beating Harley. We really do. Okay? We really do, because Harley Quinn has become some stupid feminist icon, and her only reason to exist is to be the battered girlfriend of Joker. That's it. And she keeps going back. That's the trick. The only true Harley is in the Batman animated series. That's the hill I'm going to die on. No, I ran out of my bathroom and smacked her. She had it coming. She had it coming. Hey, welcome everybody. So we're going to be doing, a nooner. Not that kind of nooner. But if you guys are doing a nooner while you're watching the nooner, that's fine. That's fine. As a matter of fact, I think we could enhance it a little bit. We can enhance it a little bit. You know, all those kids on Twitch play music under their streams. It's to hide all the dead silence from them fucking eating their mom's nuggies and watching stuff. But here, we don't usually need it because I'm busy talking all the time. But if this enhances your experience for having a nooner during the nooner, and you know what? It's happened. I've done so many live streams. It's happened, right? Oh, yeah. Everybody loves a nooner. I shouldn't even say this. My wife will get pissed. Did nooners all the time when I was working at Acura of Escondido. That's right, Scott. If you're out there, I was working with you. When I rushed out for lunch and I got back about 15 or 20 minutes late, and this was more often than not, that's why. Okay? I was in a better mood. My customer service was better. So in the end, it all worked out for everybody. Right? Sure, they got a little mad that my lunch, it got to be a joke, by the way, that my lunch hours were, they called them Gary lunch hours, which was, I was gone for an hour and a half. Well, yeah, 38 seconds. You're right, chat. It was the driving time that was the trouble. I lived about 6 minutes, a 6-minute drive from my work in Escondido. Did not expect to start the show this way, but that's how things go. That's how things go. So we are going to discuss, hey, X-Ray Girls, see if you could fit this in the title. See if you could fit this. One woke after another isn't woke according to woke people. See if that'll fit. You can even like knock out the number or anything. See if it fits. Let's give it a try. Because that's basically what happened yesterday. According to woke people, one woke after another isn't woke. And people go, stop saying the term woke. You know what? Stop being woke. Stop being woke. You won't hear woke. I'd love to retire that term. Hell yeah. Piers Morgan has a book out, says woke is dead. Go get him, Piers. Go get him. One woke after another is going to win minimum 12 Academy Awards. Now, if you want to go, well, it's dead because it flopped and lost $100 million. Boom. There you go. So it's not dead in Hollywood. But as far as the public's willingness to even slightly put up with it at this point, it's gone. Sure, there was a bunch of 50, 60-year-old, I got it. If they're 50, they're Gen X and boomers at some No Kings rally. And hey, let's give them credit, everybody. We don't have a king. It was really effective. Well done. We still don't have a king. We still don't have a king. Thanks to all the boomers out there who had to be reminded at 10 o'clock every night that they had children. Yes, they ran PSAs. I just saw the thing it was going on Twitter. They ran PSAs. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Those were our parents. Those were our parents. And to be fair to my parents, they had no fucking idea because they couldn't find me. It's not for lack of looking. It's not for lack of looking. My poor parents, my poor mom and dad. My dad up there in heaven still cussing me out. And I deserved it. There's some good boomers. There are some good boomers. But let's be real, boomers. Let's sit down and be real. And I'll say this about my generation too. But boomers more. Boomers are the ones who had the big old party in the 60s and got high on every drug under the sun and then told us we couldn't take any drugs and while they were still taking drugs, and then later they put us on drugs when we were hyperactive and stuff. Boomers are the ones who vigorously masturbate to every Woodstock documentary that was ever made, and every time somebody mentions Watergate, they actually climax in their pants right there, men and women. You just say Watergate, they go, oh. And the Vietnam War ended, and they all think that they're responsible for all that stuff, like personally responsible. Every one of them thought they went to Woodstock. Every one of them thought they were personally responsible for Watergate, which was a CIA coup. And they all thought that they ended the war in Vietnam when it was Nixon, the guy they wanted to get out, the super popular president at the time. What they were really, see, they thought we were fighting for change, man. We were fighting for human rights, man. You were going to parties and getting high and calling it fighting the man. Stop it. Your music was good. Very good. Loved the music. It was fantastic. But because you were baby boomers, your generation stayed around way longer than it should have. And a lot of you, aside from the good ones, still think you're in the fucking 60s. So calm down. My generation, well, some of us pretty cool people. Some of us are absolute fucking sellouts, socialist fucking sellouts. And they're worse than the boomers. Fucking worse. Worse. I love that my generation, which has the greatest generation still in living memory, my generation, all of our grandpas and grandmas were from the greatest generation. Like, kids today don't know how hard he had it. Our parents weren't home. That's fucking awesome. Our parents weren't home. Had run of the fucking house. It was great. Got a big salad bowl full of Fruity Loops, smoked a couple of bowls, and watched fucking Transformers. How hard was that? Oh, it's so hard. We got to play outside, and I'm grateful to every day we didn't grow up. We grew up without the internet. Thank God for that. Thank God for that. And yeah, we made our own shit. We went out there and made our own fun because it was so fucking boring. That's cool. That's cool. But I mean, like, our grandparents were in the fucking Depression. Shut up. Okay. My dad grew up in South Dakota. His dad died of tuberculosis when he was 6. He had an older brother who was 9. He had a crippled mom because they went in to do a basic surgery and they cut a tendon in her leg, so it just killed her leg. By the way, they were farmers, and in South Dakota, you know what winters are like in South Dakota? That's how they grew up. And we're like, oh, it's so hard. Our parents aren't home, and we got to get stoned and watch fucking Transformers shit. Jesus. Yeah. Yep. No, and like the story with my dad, a lot of people my age have stories like that with their dads. They couldn't wait to get out of that small farm town, and they went to Vietnam, and they came back really fucked up in a lot of cases because they were pissed and shit on and literally spit on by boomers and hippies. Now, of course, we shouldn't have been in Vietnam, and we can all blame our government for getting us into that ridiculous fucking war. That was just a meat grinder. But proud of my pops for going there, and Melissa's proud of her dad who went there and was a Chinook pilot. And then we complain about like how tough we had it. It was fucking awesome growing up in the 80s. It was. In San Diego too. Like in San Diego, there was like it was a good place to grow up. All right, so we're going to talk about one woke after another. And I think there's a profit and loss of Star Wars movies, which is ridiculous. Here, I'll pull up my Discord. Reason I'm late is because I went to physical therapy for my old man shoulder. It's doing really good, by the way. I'm the head of the class, and also I am by far the youngest person who goes there. The absolute, like without question, and I am not young. But it's funny is like there's all these old people in there, and they're jamming like 90s. I can't believe 90s oldies. That hurts to say a little bit, but 90s oldies in there. And not like shitty one, like good stuff. Except for when Pearl Jam came on. All right, doing a research. Here we go. Oh, wow. What? Okay, that's a good article. A good pick there, Lady Grey Master. All right, so lots of signs that Hollywood is in deep shit. We cover it a lot. We've been called hyperbolic a lot. A lot of you have been called crazy and hyperbolic every time we say Hollywood is dead. And they go, actually, Hollywood's not dead because there was $1 billion movie this year. Blah, 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 blah. It's catastrophic, and we predicted it in this time frame a year ago when we saw the release schedule of movies and how shitty it looked. And like any normal nerd who is somewhat invested in genre could have looked at this year, and with varying degrees on some of the tent poles like Superman and stuff, could have picked exactly how this movie was going to perform. And most of us did. And most of us said after July, Hollywood is fucked. Hollywood is completely fucked because there's no tent poles. And pointing to like Tron Ares, this is before we knew it was a piece of shit movie, but say it was like a 10 out of 10 movie, it still wouldn't have done well. It still wouldn't have helped because it's just not that big of a franchise. What's the next big one coming out? When's like Zootopia probably? Zootopia, Wicked, and Avatar are the three big ones that are probably going to make some pretty decent money. That's 3 movies in the next 3 months. This is, by the way, prime time for Hollywood. It used to be summer. It's moving towards the winter. It's definitely prime time for streaming. And things are looking absolutely terrible. So it's ticket sales you got to look at, right? So they're down. It's approaching half, 50%. They're down 50%. They're down 40 actually, but it's going to hit 50. And it's been now 5 years since a full release schedule, since Hollywood has said they had a full release schedule. We can forget COVID. They haven't recovered from the strikes. There's no article on this yet, but I talked about it on Friday Night Tights. I'm going to talk about it here, especially doing some poking around with our good friend Chris Gore, who's out there listening. Love you, Chris. And a mutual person we know who's very cool, confirmed from our nooner last week that indeed the WGA and the Film Actors Guild both signed 3-year deals so they don't get locked in for too long. That's logical. It makes sense. So there is the great potential, and I mean great potential, of there being another fucking Hollywood strike from at least the Writers Guild next year. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And that would be suicide, absolutely suicide. But what hurts them the most, obviously, is oversaturation, lack of taking risks, risk aversion, oversaturation, and pissing off half your audience consistently to this very day for going on a decade. That has created attrition on top of the natural entropy of a business model that's just old, and it hastened its demise by decades. Hollywood could have lasted a lot lot longer if they hadn't pissed you off. But egos will not allow them to shut the fuck up. With this no king shit, it's doing this stuff all over again. And I guess they just don't remember the beating they took last November, the absolute ass whooping. They got culturally prison raped. Remember how many celebs came out and just like Donald Trump. And every time a celeb did that, I think you can make a pretty good argument that brought more voters to Trump. It's a net loss for them. But they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And I don't want to play the video. I was up late watching John Campea on a stream on an Ask Me Anything. He brought up Gina Carano and why she was fired and somebody like Rachel Zegler wasn't. And his logic was, and like, surprisingly enough, I agree with this. I agree with why they got rid of her. I don't agree with John on anything in his final summation, but I'm going to paraphrase what he said is what Gina was saying was against their values as a company. I want you to keep that in mind. Against Disney's values as a company. Just keep that in mind. I know you're going to say what values I'm going to bring those things up. Don't worry. I'm going to bring those things up. So they brings up Zegler. And he said, well, they didn't discipline her because what she said doesn't disagree with their values as a company. And again, I agree to a point. Except, John, she did get disciplined. A producer of the movie flew out to fucking New York to tell her to shut the fuck up. But as far as getting fired is concerned, she won't be working there. It wasn't public, but I highly doubt Disney will touch Rachel Zegler ever again. And she'll have to be in some indie movies because nobody's going to fucking touch her. They tried to do the redemption thing with Evita. It ain't going to fucking work. But I would also ask, so considering the board at Disney, would they say free Palestine? I'm not sure. But the fact is, John's whole approach was, well, Disney is on the right side. So Gina deserved it. But so she deserved it because it broke her values, even though Gina was completely right about everything. And it shows that, like, our sphere just sticks in his fucking head all the fucking time to where it manipulates your objectivity. I wonder if Rob would agree with what Rachel, his partner RMB, would not agree with Rachel Zegler on the Israeli-Palestine thing. But saying that Rachel didn't get punished, she did. She actually did. She actually pushed Disney too far. But let's talk about Disney's values as a company. It goes against their values, as according to John. The values of wanting to teach sexual stuff to kindergartners. Are you talking about those values, John? You must be. Well, then you're right, because that goes against Gina's values. You're right. Thanking the province that controls a concentration camp full of Uyghur Muslims for Mulan. So those kind of values, covering up Chadwick Boseman's face on the Black Panther poster, those values for China. They shrank Finn, but after Finn's fucking opened his pie hole one too much, good. Shrink Finn on the fucking poster for China. Shrink him to nothing. Those values, John. Oh boy, hey, it's good. You got it. I watch everything. I watch. What's funny is I never watched these people before, so I watch them now. And Grace and John and I'm sure they feel the same way about me if they ever watch me, which they don't. I'm like, although we do have to find X-Ray Girl. I'm sure we put it in research somewhere of Grace figuring out that James Gunn might be the problem with Marvel and DC. That's pretty good. So I want to read this one first. Okay. I hate the word influencer. I fucking hate it. There's certain internet words that I try not to use ever. And it's just personal preference. It's kind of because everybody's using them. So I try really hard not to say that's wild, just because it bugs me. And I don't know why, but it bugs me because most of the time it's not wild. It's not really that wild. It's mildly interesting, but it's not wild. Wild is also a way to not really give an opinion on something. Wow, that's wild. I also hate the term community because it's a communist term. So that's why I use fellowship. It's double meaning, Lord of the Rings, and of course the Fellowship of AA. But I loathe, despise, fucking hate the word influencer. Just the whole, everything it stands for. It's like, I exist to move the masses. My opinion is so important and influential. I will be deemed an influencer. And there's a lot of people who just take that shit to heart. No. I think I'm just a person who shoots the shit. I'm a shoots the shitter. That sounded terrible. Wait, I gotta look up. Maybe. What is it? Is it? Yeah, I gotta look up this word. I think with most content creators, I think a bloviator would be better. I just had to make sure. I was like, I've heard the word a lot, but have I ever read the definition? I kind of know what it means. So we have our influencers too big for Hollywood. I'm good. Okay, some of them, fuck the word influencers, but content creators, are some of them too big for Hollywood in the sense that, like, you come in and have them make a movie, or you have them edit stuff, and it would be a massive pay cut. So, yes, some rare air, but there are some. It would be either a vanity project, Mr. Beast, or something. Mr. Beast does not need Hollywood. Hollywood needs him. For the record, I don't trust anybody whose smile doesn't reach their eyes. I just don't. To me, Mr. Beast is if Satan made an influencer, it would be Mr. Beast. Yes, he is the biggest YouTuber ever on YouTube. Like PewDiePie. That guy's real. I like what he's done. Mr. Beast is and I like, that's his name. They're gonna go, you know what? We're gonna put a little, here's Satan. Satan's all, we're gonna create an influencer. And we're gonna call him Mr. Beast, but we'll give him a cute little logo, and nobody will ever notice he's called Mr. Beast. Humans are fucking stupid. Are influencers too big for Hollywood? With millions in brand deals and daily ego boosts from legions of followers, not every creator wants to endure the industry's humiliations. Interesting. Now they're going to name off a bunch of influencers I've never heard of, so you might have to help me, chat. Quinta Brunson got her start a decade ago posting skits on Instagram. Now she's taking Abbott Elementary into its 5th season. More recently, Benito Skinner hit it big on TikTok with his celebrity parody videos. He went on to create and star in Hulu's Overcompensating. Hollywood has long been the top of the mountain, the final level of stardom, but with film and TV on decline and brands throwing millions at influencers. I'm going to bring this over here, make it easier on me. And brands throwing millions at influencers, are top creators even interested in breaking into the industry? No. The answer is no. This is one of those things we predicted during the strike. They're all happening. So we said there will be contraction in Hollywood. There is, through companies going through mergers or just outright going out of business. That's happening. We said there will be mass layoffs and they would just move to foreign territories or just start buying foreign territories work. Happening. We said the bottom would fall out on local LA jobs. Happening. And we said they're not even the top of the hill anymore. Video games, as far as overall entertainment, it is video games, live sports. I believe it's in that order. I'd have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's video games, live sports. Hollywood used to be much higher, but I believe it's this year or next year where YouTube passes up everything, Netflix, everything, and becomes number one. I said it in pretty much all of my strike videos. You are the competition now. They alienated half of you, and now you have become their competition and have been for a long time. Competition in media, competition in scripted entertainment. Lauren Palmer, a senior talent manager at Palette Media, says 85 to 90% of her clients are interested in traditional entertainment careers. Her boss, Josh D. Angelis, Palette's co-founder and president of talent, says interest depends on why people got into content creation in the first place. Well, agents are circling. A lot of people that you enjoy have them. I do not. I have been asked multiple times. And I'm like, do I want to give a percentage of my money for somebody that will just basically distract me from making videos and live streaming, to do interviews and get sponsors that once they see my content and talk all big, like, oh, we love your views, blah, 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 blah. Then we make a commercial because I want to make all the commercials and have Perry waste his valuable time, and they all get fucking cold feet every time. No, fuck that. We've tried a couple of ads, and the whole point with making an ad ourselves is like, I want to make it funny. You know, funny ads do well. Remember back in the 90s when ads were funny? That really elevated your brand. But no, all the ones were like, oh, we don't care about the edgy content. And then we make something and they're like, oh, no, we can't do that. And it's like, then you just wasted an entire day. Like, fuck off. Where I could have been not doing anything. So no moss with that. So I wouldn't know what the use of an agent is, but it's helped a lot of people. And, people like Asmongold and Hassan share an agency, not an agent, but an agency. Okay. Max Zavadow, who posts short films on Instagram and TikTok, always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. As his follower count rose, he stopped thinking of socials as springboard and more as a destination. There you go. What if social media isn't just a platform? What if it's not just a launching pad for the places? What if social media is the place? What if it is a medium? He says, seeing it as such leads one to ask, what stories best exist here that wouldn't work as a movie or TV show? Creator Mo at that doll Mo. By the way, I've never heard of these people, but I'm not on Instagram, so maybe my wife has. Who has 6 million followers across TikTok and Instagram, posts feminism forward comedy. There's no such thing as feminism comedy content on a weekly basis, but she has a loftier and rather more classic ambitions. I love what I'm doing, but I want more. That's the only way the industry is going to keep growing, she says. The next step for influencers, when they have big followings, it'll transition to another platform. Well, I mean, the fact is, she's probably not 6 million followers across TikTok and Instagram. Take away, she probably has brand deals and ad reads and shit. You take away that, she ain't making very much money. YouTube's where it's at. There might be a way, but is there a will? DeAngelis, who manages 175 clients, says a noticeably smaller portion of creators want to spend the effort required to break into the industry. It's a humbling experience to go from achieving millions of views than to bring in just another person in the casting room who's hoping to get picked. Creators have been putting in the same work that any other actor would. Some talent are very interested in putting in the work. Others don't want to. Well, because they've already put in the work in themselves. So why would they want to? You go from successful small business owner to I'm going to go work for a corporation. I've done this. And it's a step down. Even if the paycheck is better, it's a step down. Overall in life, it is a step down. Successful influencers seeking Hollywood careers aren't exactly starting from the bottom. Palmer argues that the follow count can offer a shortcut to booking jobs, blah, blah, blah. Both Palmer and Mo cite Dancing with the Stars as an example of a program that's caught up to demand for digital stars. Well, yeah, that's easy. Dancing with the Stars. This is all like normie shit. The thing that it doesn't cover, which I will, we talked about that term disrupt last week. It is disrupted scripted media. It is disrupted comedy, stand-up comedy, cinema, TV shows. Most notably, though, news, entertainment news. You know, I used to watch fucking Entertainment Tonight every day. I used to watch E! News Daily every day. And it was gay back then, but they actually covered entertainment. And we're just like gay. But I watched it every fucking day because I was into that stuff. And YouTube has replaced it, completely replaced it. And it's replaced the 24-hour news cycle. You can see it in the broadcast news, and it's creeping its way up to scripted entertainment. And with AI and all that, the gatekeepers have fallen. We are the barbarians at the gate, and it has fallen, and it'll still be around. Ryan brought this up. Like, radio is still around. Broadcast radio is still around. But broadcast radio is pretty much what it is now is what broadcast TV and film will be in the very near future. In the very near future. You are the media now. You are the entertainment industry now. I can't wait to see it. And it will get better. It's in its infancy. So you've got a bunch of people trying stuff, and it's going to be fucking terrible at first. But eventually, like a guy who gets a big following on whatever, and then goes, I want to be a stand-up comedian. It's like, are you crazy? Do you want to be broke and probably addicted to drugs and neurotic for the rest of your life? Why do you think stand-up comedians, the minute they get their this was back in the day, like the goal of the stand-up comedian was to get a half-hour sitcom. And the minute they start, they stop doing stand-up because it's hard. It's really hard, and it's crazy, and it doesn't make any money. No. And then there's the talent pool. The talent pool will be kids. Do kids these days, I want to grow up to be an actor or a director or a producer, or I want to make special effects. All those kids will start doing their own shit, and they'll have a better chance of succeeding than passing through the multiple gates of hell of Hollywood. who have closed out half the country based on their politics. So there's a limited amount of talent in the world, and Hollywood is no longer, even with the people who want to go there, they're no longer getting the best of the best. I would argue if you are an editor now, a editor on making trailers at a trailer house, or if you are a top tier editor in Hollywood working on film, you're going to make a lot of money. But the mid-level editors and down, you have a better chance hooking up with a content creator. And the money will probably be pretty good if you're good and consistent. You can't just be a good editor. There's a lot of great editors out there who fucking slow. So it makes you not a good editor. I passed up a couple of people in secret because I could just get my shit done. I get my shit done for editing, and they were better. They were clear. I would freely admit they were better editors, but I got the gig because they were slow. They were slow. So get good, get consistent. But I think you have, editors, they'll still need them. I know, like, fuck AI editing. You still need that human touch. Let's get to you guys quick, and then we'll get to this insane article from Owen Gleiberman from Variety, who says, One Battle After Another is not a left-wing movie. I'm serial. That's what they said. I'm serial. I got to set up Harley Quinn there. This is a pretty good sculpt of her face. This is from the Suicide Squad, obviously. Suicide Squad, not James Gunn's Suicide Squad, where the first thing he did was cover up Harley. So he could set up two seasons of a show where everybody's fucking his wife. Andrew McCarty for $4.99. Thoughts on You Only Live Twice movie and book? I like the movie a lot, and while the book was okay, ending with Bond getting amnesia was stupid. I'll have to go through this list, Andrew, but this may be sacrilege, but I don't care. There is more than one movie that are better than the books. That just are. Eddie Brock 9043 for €5 says, excited to see Sadie Sink and Rich Cole Alves female Punisher in brand new. No. What? No. No. I saw that they, like, I think it was just trolling that Paul was going to be in it too. I know that Punisher is going to be with female Punisher. Things were looking good for that movie. Things were looking good. Superhero movies are fucking done. They are done. It is over. It was a good run. It is over. You are no longer the driver of the market. You have a fan base, and that fan base is shrinking, and you could still make movies for that fan base, including me, if they're good, but you have to bring those budgets way down. And I go back to what Bruce Campbell said in 2019 when I saw him at a Q and A for Evil Dead 2. No, it was Army of Darkness. Sorry. And at the Castro Theater, and it was awesome. Somebody asked him if he'd do any more superhero cameos. Of course, this is before Doctor Strange Mom. And he's like, no, unless it's for Sam. And then he said, listen, here's the truth about superhero movies. Hollywood hates them. They fucking hate them. They're expensive. Most of the actors feel really self-conscious, but the money is so good, it's driving the market. But the minute it ends, they will drop it like a bad habit because they just need something else, which they don't have. And then we read an article a couple of years ago. It's like, well, this genre is dying out clearly, but there's nothing to replace it. But they're expensive. They're annoying. And let's, now that some time has passed, although some of us recognized it at the time, when you look back on this year in superhero movies, remember everybody praising the Thunderbolts? The Thunderbolts. The fucking Thunderbolts. This is the year that killed superhero movies. And I don't care if Brand New Day makes $1 billion. I don't care if Doomsday makes $1 billion. What's going to happen after that? Where's the singular superhero movie with one superhero and one villain and an origin that's really taken off? It's not. They have to fill them with a bunch of other superheroes because that doesn't work anymore because they don't think the superhero is special. And it's not. It's not special. It's not an event. It's become old hat. The novelty has worn off. It's dead. Sorry to say. Excited to see Sadie Sink and Rachel Cole Alves, female Punisher and Brand New Day. I am. Forget May Parker, MJ, and Jean Grey. This is the girl boss we want. Yeah, no thanks. Sadie wearing army trousers and boots are a giveaway. Oh, it was our. Oh, fuck. I have interest. I try not to bug him, right? Usually he offers me the information, Eddie. This is like, I once in a while, I preface it like, you don't have to answer this, just asking. And sometimes he's coy. I can tell you that the whole like Hulk and Punisher being in Spider-Man, I was specifically told that by my friend because they wanted it out. They wanted to get people excited. Who are they? You can guess, but I was and I still held back. I could have told you. When was I told? Early December of 2024. I could have made a video. I could have started putting it behind a Patreon and put it behind a paywall. Instead, I just blabbed it in like an hour 3 of a live stream. But yeah, I was told that specifically to get people excited. I'm like, you sure want me to tell me? He's all, no, we want this out there. Andrew McCarty for $9.99. Tell Molly if he loves Halloween and why hasn't he checked out One Piece Halloween arc, Thriller Bark. Look it up. Literally Halloween themes in Ghost Girls and Zombies, NTM, and certain scene with Luffy and Zombie. I'll tell him. I think Mahler is like me and just likes the live LA. I mean, I like the anime too, but as a matter of fact, it's on my screen right over there. And do you want to know why it's on my screen, Andrew? What is significant about today, One Piece fans? We'll go to the chat. What's significant about One Piece today? I'll wait. I still like the anime. I'm basic bitch. 26 years ago today. It's 26 years old, One Piece. It's 26. Just want the millennials to feel old. I do. Play as his Cadbury Dairy Milk tray for Halloween. If I can find it. If I can find it. I told everybody to get their Halloween costumes. I don't know how many have actually fucking put any thought into it, but I have my costume and it's fucking funny. I think so anyway. Gary, when in Egypt, don't put ice cubes in your soda. Wife got the Scots from Pina Colada. Yeah, nothing. I was told yesterday about like no salad, no tap water, don't rinse my mouth with, because that's the mistake I made in Peru. I rinsed my mouth out with tap water while I was brushing my teeth, and I lost a day in Peru with not Kirakocho, Quetzalcoatl's. Well, it's not Montezuma's revenge because that's Mexico. Be Quetzalcoatl? Quetzalcoatl what? Caca? Arg, another name for $9.99. Hey, Gary, the Song of Ice and Fire video was good. Thank you. Oh, by the way, thank you everybody for watching it. Hit 1 out of 10. I didn't think anybody would care except for me, and I made it because I had it's been building up for years. That video had been building up for years, and I'm like, dude, I haven't made one since 22. Well, it's time to make one. But I have to say, I'm really not sad that George R. R. Martin won't finish the Song of Ice and Fire, a song of incest and food. Listen, I like the story a lot, but here's a simple. This might be in a follow-up video. Arg, another name about Tolkien. But when you set out to listen, George was a fan of Tolkien and respects the man. He does. But he set out to write a reply. And also he had a fantasy series floating around his head, but he set out to write a reply. A subversion. Here's the problem, Arg, another name. There's a quote attributed to Tolkien that is actually from the dialogue, and they flip it around, but basically it comes down to, those it's basically easier to destroy than it is to create. Deconstruction has become quite the thing for the last 40 years because so much has been constructed. And you know what? Back in the 80s, it was pretty entertaining. I don't mind a little deconstruction here and there. You still have to end something traditionally. You do. You still have to have this bitter, like Watchmen, complete deconstruction, still has a bit of an uplifting little ending there, towards the end. Not like in the straight positivity, but it's a little uplifting, and like we don't know where George is going. So essentially, it's really easy to deconstruct, but when you're deconstructing the OG, right? So the type of fantasy that Tolkien writes, he created. Now, Robert E. Howard created an entire fantasy world right around the same time Tolkien did, but Robert E. Howard published it first. That's a fact. But Tolkien had Lord of the Rings and Hobbit rolling around in his head right around the same time Robert E. Howard did, early 1900s. But Robert E. Howard is a G2. Fucking love Robert E. Howard. But when you set out to deconstruct those, that's a big goal. That's a mighty goal. You best finish. And the problem is, and other people have brought this up, but I brought it up in my older videos. When you deconstruct, when you're like, we're going to kill the hero and the main villain in the first book, and we're going to follow their children. Okay, that's cool. But then you keep having the heroes die, and the son dies, and this die. And what people are invested in is the retribution to come, which hasn't happened. We're 5 books in, no retribution for the Red Wedding. Little bit of retribution for Ned. You're setting up the big bad coming south. No sign of him. And the problem is George doesn't know how to end it in a satisfying manner. He said it'll have a bittersweet ending, which is fine. One could argue The Lord of the Rings is a bittersweet ending. And they'd argue correctly. For anybody saying there's no moral complexity to Lord of the Rings, they've never fucking read it, or they don't know what moral complexity means. It just doesn't mean being edgy and having incest and fucking food. and killing your hero, and the moral complexity of Lord of the Rings is not as blunt and in your face, and sometimes it's really obvious, lots of it, but they don't know what they're talking about. But ultimately, the Lord of the Rings can exist without a Song of Ice and Fire. A Song of Ice and Fire cannot exist without the Lord of the Rings. It's that simple. Tolkien is king. I like George. I think he's a great writer. Meanders on too much. Fucked himself by having Brianna Tarth fucking running around for multiple chapters doing fucking anything. And fuck Dorne. Dorne can die. Dorne is terrible. The only interesting Dornish is Alaris the Sphinx. That's it. But he's not going to finish. So when you set out to put a reply to Tolkien, you best reply. And if you don't finish in these fucking tards on Twitter, it was obviously like a bait tweet, but I thought it created a good conversation. Obviously a bait tweet where they just said, for one, the post said there's more moral complexity in Game of Thrones. So I'm like, bro, are you talking about the TV show? The TV show. Because it's Song of Ice and Fire. So if you're saying Game of Thrones, I'm going to think TV show. And then, okay, then you're going to compare the TV show moral complexity with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. You're retarded. If you're going to compare A Song of Ice and Fire's moral complexity with The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, you're retarded. You're just retarded. And by the way, the tweet ends up like, well, you really just tell on yourself and you're unintelligent. So I think it was bait, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Dude, I fired up last name. I fired up Hard Home last night. Just watched it. A fucking great episode, man. And it gave us such promise and never met it. Just like his books. But yeah, it is impossible when you set out to deconstruct somebody else's creation of beauty. So Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, The Silmarillion, these are creations of beauty and moral complexity. They are romantic creations and not romantic in the frame of romantasy, like old romantic, and I mean, the one thing J.R.R. Tolkien and Christopher Tolkien, who did see them, hated about them is it like Peter Jackson's like really missed a lot of the beauty of the language. And I mean, the books are superior to the movies. They just are, but I love the movies. But you cannot say A Song of Ice and Fire is a work of beauty. It's ugly. I like it. I'm invested in it. I dig the world. I dig everything about it, but it's not beautiful at all. It's interesting. It's engaging, but it's ugly. It's really ugly. And where Tolkien borrowed from mythology and history and a deep well of life experience, George R. R. Martin, who famously grew up as a lonely child who played with turtles, which is sad. Okay. And a lot of us went through bouts of being a lonely child and he had to go back into his imagination. But he did not have a deep well of life experience. He has mostly hung out with a bunch of fucking hippies. He's hung out with a fucking clique. So he doesn't have a deep well of, this is why he has such a hard time writing Bran. He knows nothing about children. Nothing. So J.R.R. Tolkien wrote the manuscripts for Lord of the Rings by hand in his spare time from his day job as an Oxford professor while raising a family. And then when he did the final manuscript, He was a 2-finger typer. He didn't know, and he couldn't afford somebody who's a 10-finger typer. So he fucking wrote Lord of the Rings like this and got it done faster. George, no kids, later on in life, has more resources and money than Tolkien ever had. Other people keep track of the lore for him. Yes, that is true. Tolkien developed how many languages? God, I wish Feanor Alpha Chad was here. Multiple languages. If we count dialects and subdialects and stuff, I think is 12. It's 12. It's a lot. It's a lot. We'll just say multiple languages. No, Martin's got a wife, and I think a mistress too. Somebody asked if Martin's gay, and I'm like, no. I saw his minions, and he's got a wife he's been with, and maybe he's a loyal husband. I don't want to throw shade. A couple of attractive young girls following him around too, and he had a posse of 9 people when I met him. Well, met him. I toured the set of the Orville with him and his minions. I talked to a couple of them. They were cool. And then when everybody was lined up, including the producer of the Orville who invited me, he shook everybody's hand. I was like in the middle, skipped me, went to the next person and shook everybody's hand. And it was not by accident. But yeah, so George R. R. Martin had all the resources in the world. He's got a team of people writing his lore and finishing that. He's just got to finish the fucking book, and he can't. He had an entire year in 2020 where he was locked down. He had no TV shows distracting him, no other books distracting him. All he had to do was write The Winds of Winter, and he couldn't finish. So the only point of the point of the video is, I don't finish. It's fine. Just be honest with people. A writer and a creator will always rationalize that they don't owe the fans anything. I disagree with that, but okay, technically you don't. Let's just say you don't. But they've made you a very rich and comfortable man. So I think you would feel some obligation to be honest with them. That's all. You don't have to finish the fucking book. I'm not going to give him advice. I think, yeah, sure, you should get somebody else. Outline the story, get somebody else to finish it. That's probably what he should do. But if you don't want to do that, fine. If you want to go to your grave without finishing, fine. That's fine. I hope you live for another 100 years. I do believe you should feel some form of obligation of just going, you know what? I can't finish. I tried and I can't. And most of the readers would go, okay, cool. But the reason he doesn't say that is, well, he's got publisher obligations. But more importantly, keeps that money train going. Keeps that money train going. I want to watch X-Files. Do you recommend it? Absolutely, Jake the Movie Geek. One of the greatest shows ever made. Oi there, Gary. Good to see you again. And happy birthday to the GOAT himself, Viggo Mortensen. That's right. Happy 67th birthday to Viggo Mortensen. We're paying our house off today. Holy shit. And celebrating 4 years on YouTube with Ash versus Evil Dead. Have an interview with Dana on our channel. Let's fucking go. Sons and Shadows. They had a great character, by the way. Tell her she's fantastic. She was fantastic. Ash versus Evil Dead, the TV show, is right up there with Cobra Kai on how you bring back a legacy character, introduce new characters, and treat them both to where you move things forward. Ash versus Evil Dead, you should be watching it this Halloween. It's one of the greatest shows ever made. Nice tunes. I like to envision Donald J. Trump playing Barry White while watching the Navy blow up drug subs. That's fine with me. Number 1, is Kingdom Come like an ending to Justice League, like what Dark Knight Returns was to Batman 2? Your favorite JLA story? Mine is Justice by Kruger and Ross. I love Justice. Is New Frontier, Justice, Grant Morrison's run in the God, was it early 2000s, late night? But Justice League International is my absolute favorite Justice League. Is Kingdom Come's ending to just like an ending to Justice League? In a way. Yes. Very much so. Very much so. And it's one of the greatest stories DC has ever come up with. Shout out to No Kings for protesting Democratic Party for ignoring their own primary vote for the past 3 elections. Good job, guys. I know, what a fucking bunch of idiots, Darth Cactus. To be fair, those boomers are probably from time when there was a king before 1776. They were just probably reminiscing. Good point. Good point. Dearest for $5. Leftist boomers think they are reliving the civil rights movement. I know they do. And anti-Vietnam protests. That is why they stupidly support radical left. They do. God, they're so stuck in their fucking childhoods. Which, I mean, they had good entertainment. They had good movies. They had good TV. The boomers did. Fucking fantastic music. They did. But they also thought they were way more important than they were. Please shout out our channel. We're dropping our 100th episode tomorrow, by the way. You're my second favorite California immigrant. That's cool. Second favorite's good. I'm fine with that. Now that you're here, we can build a wall. I'm fine with that. So the Way What podcast for $10. Let's build a wall around Texas to keep Californians out. I'm fine with that. Hippies, mean people dressed in nice people. Metalheads, nice people dressed as mean people. Arg, another name. 100% correct. 100% correct. Now, metalheads would beat the fuck out of hippies, but metalheads were way more fucking fun to hang out with. They're pretty sweet, pretty nice. Fucking hippies bitched all fucking day long. Doing a nooner during noon is concerning. Well, take 2 nooners and call me in the morning. Gary, X-ray, what color lantern ring do I want? Well, green. Robert Hayes, green. My grandparents lived in the East End of London, had the Bloody Blitz every night. My parents had rock and roll. Doesn't compare. No, it doesn't. It does not. Hello, Gary. I'm really glad you sometimes throw in some German words. I think you said Jungus, good luck recently. How about Ach der Lieber? Hey, Gary. Could we get a watch party for Chad Powers? Maybe. I owe 2 episodes for Tulsa King, which will probably be tonight or Thursday morning. I want to watch it. It's getting good now. So, for Forbidden Frontier, Mandela effects caused by CERN experiments. Absolutely. I don't even think that's a working theory. I think that's fact. Second dark age of animation. 10 age of comic books. We've been in this era for the past 10, 15 years. Spread these terms for historiography for historical purposes. Why don't we just say that? Historiography makes me hurt. Gary's an influencer. Influencer what? I don't know. Shut up, Eric. Hey, Gary, is it me or can you see how season 3 of Tulsa King writing has dramatically changed store and tone? Yes. The whole Boo storyline is right out of Dukes of Hazzard, trying to make Sly a hero. Yeah, it's a totally different writer. So they went from the writer of The Sopranos and Boardwalk Empire to the writer of Mayor of Kingstown, but it's found its pace for me, right? So it works. God, oh yeah. We got to catch up. How to deal when the writer of your favorite comic goes complete woke lunatic? Should you still like or read the comics that are your favorite? Yamada, for 100 yen. It depends. It depends on you. There's like, I can go read Kingdom Come knowing that Mark Waid is a fucking moron, and I can read it now. But I can't read his later stuff because it just sucks. It depends on you, though. There are some people who've gotten so obnoxious I can't look at I see their name and I'm just done. So it depends on the individual. English Badgers, is it wrong to be influenced by you, my lord? Yes. You're in a sad state of affairs. Gen X selfishness and apathy, and thank you, by the way, for the £2. Proper British money. Gen X selfishness and apathy is what allowed boomers to be in charge and screw everything up for the last 40 years. Word. Zoroaster for $10 says, Crowder makes the best commercials for his show. They don't have many sponsors, so luckily they make multiple commercials for one product. Freaking hilarious. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to have to do. But I mean, like, we're good. We're good. There's the ads on YouTube, which I have no control over. I don't mind doing ads as long as they are funny. Now we have our own coffee store now, so I'm gonna, it's not gonna be till like closer to Christmas. I'm gonna have Perry and Garrett work on a new ad for coffee, but it's for us. It's for us. Oh, dude, Perry straight up told me I'm not doing fucking commercial editing anymore. Fuck these guys. They wasted my time enough, and I'm like, #me too. #me too. I'm worried people will shun my sci-fi movie concept because I used AI to animate characters I designed in 1993. Don't worry about it. Just do your thing. People, at least it'll get people talking about it, but certain people will shun it automatically, mostly artists and creatives who are currently working in the field. And most normal people will go, most normal people, like, who are not in the arts, they can give a fuck about AI art. They can give a fuck. It's a great tool. Use it. And don't worry when you're creating art, when you're creating stuff, when you're creating videos on YouTube, don't worry about what other people are going to think. You can't worry about that. Just be honest, be fair, be authentic. Curtis D of Montana for $5 on Tulsa King this year. Is Sylvester Stallone acting strange, like he had a stroke? He seems different. Sly's speech sounds labored, walking with a limp. I think he's just getting old. I think he's just getting old, but it is a little different than from the previous year. God bless Sylvester Stallone, one of my favorite all-time actors. Fucking dude is based. May he live for 1,000 years. The world needs Sly. Robert Hayes for $1.99. Thoughts on Ghostbusters film? I like the two Ghostbusters films. The comeback ones are they're fine. No, the last one, Zero, was fucking terrible. The comeback one with the family was fine, but like, there's two Ghostbusters films, and of course the cartoon, The Real Ghostbusters. That one's fucking amazing. Just make a Fix Hitman show about Templar Knight coming back home and righting wrongs in small villages along the way. RIP superheroes. I'd watch the shit out of that, Rick. I'd watch the shit out of that. I mean, that's a Western. Hail, Gary. It's true. She's wearing army pants in the set photos. And will you be buying the new Ainsley Master figure from Character Op? I've ordered it. I don't know. I'm kind of stepping back a little bit from 1/6 scale. All right, let's get to this article I've been teasing all show. Let's get to this article I have been teasing all show. So from Variety. I hate it's just as bad as when they have an article that ends with, and that's a good thing. It's like, no, One Battle After Another is not a left-wing movie. From Owen Gleiberman. Let's hear what Owen has to say. It's no big shock to see that commentators on the right, the far right, and the extreme alt-right, I think that covers the waterfront, from Ben Shapiro to film critic Armand White, have pronounced on One Battle After Another, accusing it of being, oh, fuck off, left-wing movie that's made for left-wing elites sitting in their left-wing bubble. It is. The forces on the right, led by President Trump, will now say that about almost everything. They treated yesterday's No Kings protest with its massive surge of outraged citizens as if it were some lunatic fringe collection of hippie terrorists. It was a tad more surprising, by the way, a very well-coordinated protest funded by you and me, by the way, and PAX. I didn't see it. Going about my day yesterday, I didn't see anything that said No Kings. Not a single fucking thing. Not a thing. It was a tad more surprising to see the same criticism of One Battle After Another made by Bret Easton Ellis, who thinks that reviewers have hailed Paul Thomas's film as and overpraised it because it really aligns with this kind of leftist sensibility. Ellis later added on his podcast, you have the left and the entertainment press propping this movie up to such an absurd degree that it felt unnatural, because it is unnatural. I consider myself a fan of Ellis's. I was a guest on his podcast once, and I relish the independence of his voice. So the fact that he isn't wild about One Battle After Another is fine with me. I'm all for the debate. So am I. But I think that tagging the film with the leftist label feeds into the same cliche mindset that Ellis thinks he's fighting. Motherfucker, this is the king of lack of self-awareness. This is the king of lack of self-awareness. By default, it is a leftist revolutionary movie. I've seen it. You've seen it. Bret Easton Elson has seen it. The French 75 are a stand-in for Antifa, an organization that says it's anti-fascist, but what it truly is pro-communist. And like all other communist organizations, they can't put communism in the title because they know that their ideology is bullshit, that it'll never fucking sell. It's never fucking worked. So they have to lie to you until they can usurp control behind terms like anti-fascism and socialism. We don't want to take away your private property. You'll still own the property. This is what it says in the Communist Manifesto when they come out there and go, you still own the property along with everybody else. Oh. Okay. What's more, if you believe okay, so you automatically just demonized, you started your article with this unbiased, no, One Battle After Another is not left wing. By the way, everybody who's Republican is a Nazi. Let's move on. Nice objectivity there. How long is this fucker? Oh my God. We'll have to continue this on another stream, but we'll get through some of this. Okay, so What's more, if you believe as I do that part of the power of one battle after another is that it is not, in fact, a left-wing movie. It's important to recognize how that misrepresentation has been fed by a lot of people on the left. The movie, which is set in an authoritarian American that resembles the one we could be heading towards, that's never established. It basically makes it feel like a good old-fashioned America now. There's nowhere in the movie where they world build that this is a possible future. There's nowhere. No, they build it as a drama that takes place in our world. There is no world building in it. If you want this to be alternate history, you have to world build. It anticipates. So, the movie, which is set in an authoritarian America that resembles the one we could be heading toward. What about the one we lived in the last 4 years? It's amazing, all you people, about your patriotism and your American ideals. You don't bring up January 6th prisoners. Ever. Oh, because you use that as your linchpin forever. Forever. And still will. January 6th. When it was a fed up. And it anticipates what the country might start to look like if Trump invokes the Insurrection Act. What were you calling January 6th now? Yeah. Is centered for a while on a ragtag band of revolutionary guerrillas. And since the movie is certainly on their side, I think a lot of the attitude of the entertainment media has been to reflexively treat One Battle After Another as a film itself were raising a revolutionary fist, and as if it were something of a left wing about attack authoritarianism. There is not. The entire attitude of the movie shows what side the filmmaker comes from. So if your lack of I am not a card-carrying Republican, nor will I ever will be. And I doubt you even notice this shit, but you could, like Eddington, actually a movie that I would argue in the first 15 minutes did a lot better job showing the objectivity of a filmmaker until it just went insane. The biggest problem with One Woke After Another, which is certainly a woke movie, and it's not just woke in the aspects of it being a left-wing revolutionary movie. It is also intersectional feminist in the way it treats its main character, Leonardo DiCaprio, as one of the three variations of modern male characters from Hollywood, which is ineffectual, cowardly, duplicitous. He falls under the ineffectual loser, beta male. And releasing the movie about attack on ICE facilities the day after there was an attack on an ICE facility, releasing the movie with the theme of there is a secret white supremacist organization, which we've seen so fucking many of those in the last 10 years. It's played out. And the reason it's being pushed so much narratively in scripts is because that's what you believe Donald Trump is, or that's what you want people to believe Donald Trump and his people are. Even though Donald Trump, if you want to use the word diversity, has the most diverse cabinet in my lifetime. Not just diverse by race, diverse by ideology. There's Democrats in his fucking cabinet. And that's why you're losing. That's why you fuckers are losing, because people can see through this shit. You can't hide behind that. Well, actually, it's not a revolutionary movie because we show the revolutionary turning her friends in. And it's not very, it shows the ugliness. Tell me, before I even go through this, what happens at the end of the movie? Gleiberman? What happens at the end of the movie? This isn't merely a matter of semantics. Yes, it is. In a strange way, the lionization of One Battle After Another as a cinematic manifesto, a movie that sees itself as part of a resistance that tips its hat to the glory of being a radical, has fed directly into the skewed right view of the film. At times, it almost as if the right and the left agree on One Battle After Another. It is a romantic salute to revolution. They just don't agree on where it came down. That's called watching a movie, dipshit. But fucktard, retard. How does the movie end? The daughter becomes a revolutionary, a left-wing, hardcore left-wing, anti-capitalist revolutionary. But it's not about that. It's hard to figure out what it's about because you fucking pompous elitist ass cinephiles are so up Paul Thomas Anderson's fucking ass that you can't recognize. That's fucking boring. It's a boring movie. Is it well shot at times? Sure. But you guys have been chasing the dragon of shit, Boogie Nights, and There Will Be Blood for a long time. Dude hasn't made a significant movie in a long time. Dude wanted to hit every fucking checkbox so he'd get the award consideration, and he knew what to do. And he fucking tapped the clit of woke Hollywood, and he is going to get 12, 13, 14 Oscar noms and wins for this movie, because this movie that you're going to argue is not a leftist movie is going to win all of that shit because the left sees it as a leftist movie and a giant middle finger to Donald Trump, and Hollywood's giant middle finger to Donald Trump. And Hollywood is fucking retarded because the middle finger they need to be raising is to Gavin Newsom, who could have fixed your fucking industry, given you tax breaks, and you might be flourishing right now instead of falling apart. Now, Gavin Newsom wouldn't have done anything about your biggest mistake, Hollywood, which this is displayed here perfectly, is you piss off half the country. You don't come back from pissing off half the country, especially with all the other 1,000 paper cuts of oversaturation, corporatism, risk aversion, making shitty fucking movies, getting hyper political, and pissing off more than half the country. And it's reflected in streaming services dying, studios merging, ticket sales falling. Theaters will be closing soon because half the country has no more use of your business model because you apparently had no more use for them. When you tell people to fuck off, they do. So, Mr. Gleiberman, when this thing wins 14 fucking Oscars just because it exists as a left-wing movie, we will be revisiting your fucking article. This is bookmarked. But he basically goes on to say, you're misinterpreting everything. It is semantics. It's a father-son story. It's a father-daughter story. The film's ragtag band of radicals are not glorified. The themes are glorified, dipshit. Again, what happens at the end of the movie? The attack on One Battle After Another for being far left could also be an early salvo for the Oscar race. You think? I think Weapons should win everything, but it won't. I think Sinners is its closest competition, but I think One Battle After Another wins. It depends on where we're at in the progressive stack. we'll be revisiting that article a lot. Dun, 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 dun. What's my best arrow villain or Arrowverse from the show? I like it when King Shark showed up. Stephen Williams for $5. Did you get my super chat a couple of days ago? Real BBC, we're gonna either get it to today or Thursday. Sorry, it'll be part of it'll be part of the square up. On the Real BBC, talking why Cal Arts and romance novels are everywhere. Good comic books, not a part universe. Stephen, I don't know what you meant at the last one, but publishing has been ruined by women. And they claim that men don't read, but they don't provide men anything to read. And everything's becomes so bland and corporate. Covers suck. Even those like mini DC books that they're putting out, the covers fucking suck. They're stale, they're boring, they're not dynamic. They're usually just fucking words. I don't know what the hell's like, who's advising people in marketing? Like Superman, the Superman trailer. Use the fucking Superman logo from the comic book. Why does it just say Superman? That was my complaint about Spider-Man too. It's like, use the Amazing Spider-Man logo. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, people still read a lot. There's just nobody providing, and there's nobody providing kick-ass epic fantasy on a regular basis right now. Watching Person of Interest, great show, but I'm seeing the woke agenda started as early as 2014, season 4 on TV, but more subtle. It's way more subtle. It started creeping in like, oh, dude, you can go back 2008, see that stuff, Sealy. But you're not wrong. Tolkien isn't morally complex. Laugh my ass off, Google Fanor. Alpha Chad. Yeah, I don't know the exact number of languages Tolkien has created. I don't, off the top of my head. It's multiple. It might just be 4. I thought it was way more than 4, though. We're talking about dialects and subdialects too. But I could be wrong. What's up, brother? Phil Mitchell's Fist for $20 says, I'm scared to ask, but what IPs are left for the powers that be to ruin, which are safe for now? Thanks again for all you do. Hail to the fellowship. You're doing the Lord's work. Thanks, brother. Conan is safe. Elric is safe. They won't be touched by Hollywood. The Shadow, Pulp. Although I think that would be, if those things made a comeback and they were done properly, they would be so fucking popular. They would be amazingly popular. But I think those things are safe. Harry Potter, safe for now, but not for long. Back to the Future. There's some smaller ones that are safe, but big ones, most of them have gone through. Lord of the Rings doesn't really, like, Rings of Power doesn't affect fucking Lord of the Rings. It doesn't. It's not based on anything. It just sucks that, like, the bean counters are going to see that and go, oh, people hated it, so people don't want Lord of the Rings anymore, without going any further than that. Fuck Amazon. The problem with leftists is they are great at tearing things down, and sometimes that's a good thing when the thing being destroyed is evil, but it takes someone with positive dreams to create. It does. Arg, another name for $9.99. You are correct. Also, thoughts on Snoop doing his LGBTQA bending the knee thing? Gay. But as we're finding out, most black rappers are gay. Ram Bam 3000 for $5. British pounds, proper money. These fools don't want a king. They want to have an open door policy on queens, both the yes and fabulous variety. If people are concerned about moral complexity in Tolkien's work, they should try reading the Silmarillion. There's murder, incest, and kidnapping. Exactly. It just shows that they've never read it. The Lady Wonder. Oh, by the way, George's story, I don't even think I finished my thought back then, comes from he doesn't have a lot of personal experience. He does use history. He also uses other people's stories. Like J.R.R. Tolkien's, like Michael Moorcock, like Frank Herbert. He borrowed a lot from them. He borrowed a lot from them. Yay, says Tom Slick. Yay. That's how it normally goes. Yay. Jason Nelson has 2 questions for $2. Hale, how tall are you and any anniversary plans? How tall am I? I'm little under 6 foot. A hair under 6 foot. I'm shrinking. I used to be 6 foot. And do I have any anniversary? Yeah, we're going to Egypt. I think the wife and I will be going out to dinner probably that Halloween weekend because we got our wedding anniversary coming up. But yeah. Have you heard of the book series Dungeon Crawl? I would check out the audiobook version. It's very well done. Oh, I haven't. The Evil Chihuahua. Thank you for the $4.99. Yamada and the 7 Witches for 40 yen. Who was your favorite Flash and Green Lantern? I'm a Wally West guy. I mostly read Wally West stuff. I gotta say Hal, but I like Kyle Rayner a lot too. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. I hope you liked the plushie. We got it. Thanks, Buster Nut Smash. Buster Nut Smash. Thank you very much. Nerdrotic Chainsaw Massacre seemed like a good idea at the time. Sorry, that male stole the shirt. Yeah, she stole the fucking shirt. I'm going to steal it back. I don't know. I'm thinking Guy Gardner might be my favorite Lantern. I got to think about that. And thank you for the shirt. Jake Tamman for $1.99. Favorite horror icon, Gary? Mine is Jason Voorhees. Ooh. Favorite horror icon. I never think about that stuff. I don't know. I mean, Ash. But you're talking about probably like Monster. I'd have to think about that. Yamada for 40 yen says, all my friends read only manga. Only I read comics. Your friends suck. I'm just kidding though. Comics kind of suck right now. Remember when Terrence Winter was attached to a crime show set in Gotham for HBO called Gotham PD? I do. That could have been cool. Maybe. God, what happened to that show? Well, geez, there were so many peripheral Batman shows, but yes, Terrence Winter was attached to that. Is Batman Murder Turned Fugitive a good comic? When did that come out? Murder Turned Fugitive. Oh, I wouldn't know. It's Brubaker. I'd give Brubaker a shot. He's really good. I'd give him a shot. Have there ever been D working with you're like that? Sorry, I'm kind of young. LOL. Have there ever been D working with R like that? I don't know what that means, Hunter. What's kind of young? Like 30? Hunter, thank you for the $5. My best comic book media this year is Penguin and Soup. There you go. Chuck for $4.99. Have you bought any of the new Lego Lord of the Rings sets? I have Barad-dûr. Yes, I have that. I have the Shire. It's built. Erebor. They're doing Erebor? No, we have Rivendell and the Shire. We haven't built Barad-dûr yet, or yeah, we haven't. Baron-dur, as fucking Az says. We haven't built that. I think our next one's Hogwarts Castle. But if they're doing Erebor, then fucking A, I'm getting that. Hell yeah. How are they doing it? Are they doing like the inside or? Yeah, I gotta look. Lego Erebor? No fucking way. Oh, it's just an idea. Is it? Yeah, it just looks like other. Yeah, I don't think that's really a thing. Lego the Hobbit, Eloting, Erebor. I don't think the Lonely Mountain. Lego, the Lonely Mountain. Holy shit. Hang on. Get the fuck. Yeah, it looks, I'll get it. It looks small, but I get it. I'll get it. I sent you a DM about the language. Is it on Twitter? Hang on. Let's see. Thanks, buddy. There you are. Okay. Ha ha! I knew it was. Okay. This is from High King Feanor, Alpha Chad of Middle Earth. Tolkien developed over 15 languages, the most developed of which are Quenya, Sindarin, Kuzdul, I never fucking pronounce that right, Black Speech, and oh my god, Adunik. I suck. I'm retarded. But okay, so he's developed 15 languages. 15 languages. George R. Martin has developed 0. So the languages he developed for Game of Thrones, like Dothraki and Valyrian, were developed by other people involved with TV shows. So he didn't develop any of those languages. Other people develop his lore. He's got more money than Tolkien ever fucking had. Ever. And he can't finish. Motherfucking J.R.R. Tolkien developed languages, writing them by hand. 15. Sit down, A Song of Ice and Fire fans. Quite frankly, there's some great lore channels out there. Probably not a big fan of this channel. Any of them are, but that's fine. One of my son's favorite channels, and my favorite lore channel, and my son's favorite lore channel is David Lightbringer. Because, well, I mean, he's a good editor. He makes this stuff fun. It's really based in magic and some of his, some of the stuff that's in his background. He's got he's a pretty smart dude. But his videos are really entertaining. So they're going to think up better theories. People like David Lightbringer, and then R. Hiltz Hurt in Deep Geek. That's kind of the 3 I listen to. They're mostly, they cover lore, but if we're doing any theories, David Lightbringer is probably going to come up with better shit than George at this point. It might be better for George not to finish the book. I think that the only thing that way he doesn't disappoint anybody. I mean, he disappoints everybody, but at least you won't disappoint them with an ending, and your ending will be thought about and theorized forever for a generation. But a generation's going to die out and not care, because what keeps these books selling is HBO spinoffs and George running out there teasing people that he's going to finish someday, and people are going to believe it. And that part I don't like, because he knows goddamn well he's not going to finish. Now, does he think he can finish The Wind's a Winner? I do believe he does, but he knows goddamn well he will not finish Dunk and Egg and A Dream of Spring. He knows well, and nor should he even try. He should do Wind's a Winner, have somebody else do it, enjoy the rest of his fucking life. Why do you want to spend the rest of your life frustrated? Right? But that money train needs to keep going. It needs to keep going. So you made your bed. You made your bed. London Met Police have announced today that they will no longer investigate non-crime hate incidents. The world is slowly healing. It is. Hail Africa expert. That's me. I'm going to actually go to Africa. Mick. What's Mick short for? Michael? Is Mick really short for Michael? I thought Mike. Michael Gore. I am the Africa expert is finally going to Africa for the first time. Music may do the ugly art of A Song of Ice and Fire best of any medium. Fear and Dillinger Escape Plan use it for fun and experiment in the way the other mediums do. Yeah, like A Song of Ice and Fire is interesting, engaging. It's really good. It's really well done. The world building is crazy. Would any of you want to go to Hobbiton and hang out with the hobbits? Every single one of you would. Would any of you want to set foot in Westeros or Essos? No. You wouldn't want to go to Southros. You'd fucking get eaten. You would either be indentured servant, taken for a slave, raped and murdered, robbed, eaten, or burned alive. I mean, those are your options in Planetos. What's your favorite horror film, Gary? Mine is John Carpenter's The Thing. Also, thank God Kamala Harris isn't our president. As Sam said, darkness will pass. Yes. The Thing. The Thing. It's a tie, though. It's The Thing and The Exorcist. They have not announced Erebor. It's just I want them to make it. Okay, cool. There's a little Lonely Mountain thing on their Lego set, but it's not Erebor. I saw it, but it's tiny. It's like a little one. Your favorite Fourth World run, Kirby or Burn? Ooh, Kirby. Didn't see many orcs protesting on Saturday. Yeah, no kings, man, for sure. Zoroaster. Ace Combat seems to be safe. The wokest thing in the latest game was a tomboy main character with an actually wholesome backstory about her and her grandfather restoring a vintage F-104 together. Oh, that's awesome. I like wholesome content. I do. I crafted my story to be anti-Hollywood in a way, reversing the symbolisms. Even named my little production company me Good Robot Productions. That's funny. Fuck Jar Jar Abrams. The Last Cowboy Space Project. I love that. We have to check that out, by the way. Check out Topher A on YouTube, a Nerdrotic brother. I'm adopted. Maybe Pappy got around. I never met Pappy. Never met my sperm donor. And probably never will. Probably never will. If he's still around. I have no interest. I had a dad. He raised me. Where are you, X-ray? No, you don't have to come out, X-ray. I was talking to myself about the super chats. God, well, obviously we're gonna have to do, guys. We're gonna have to do another nooner, but it'll be a nighter. So we're gonna have to do a Nerdrotic at night on Thursday, because obviously I'm not gonna get the square up done today. I got to yakking. Sorry. I got to yakking. Here we go. Nico on the Streamlabs for $5 says, "Hi, Gary. You guys are the best entertainers next to the Y-Files." I will take next to the Y-Files. That is some fucking high praise. The Y-Files is the GOAT. I listened to 3 full AJ videos last night from like 2 years ago, and I just pick them. And all of them are interesting. AJ, I would dare say we're buds now. And I love that dude. He's such a nice guy, and absolutely. And his team, his wife is wonderful. His team is really fun. They deserve all their success. They work their fucking asses off for those things, by the way. Those videos are not easy to write, make, produce. And at the rate they do it, it's fucking insane. Basically, the type of videos that the Y-Files does, a normal big channel would do those once a month. And somehow they crank them out once a week. So that's why they have to take the breaks once in a while, because like you need to. And to Bruce, the amount of work that goes into producing one of their videos, and I'm guessing, right, based on how I work, and they work more efficient, let's be real. But based on how I work, the amount of work that goes into each one of those videos, their entire crew is working minimum 12-hour days, minimum 7 days a week. On average. I could be wrong. Maybe they're just way better at that. And that's fucking incredible. So hats off to the Y-Files. We love them. But thanks for saying we're even in the realm. That's an honor. And thanks for the great work. And X-Ray Girl is such a cutie. She could white people me anytime.
White people?
Nico, a zombie dude 0 for $10. I've been considering watching Star Trek. What is your canon for Star Trek, and where should I start? Also, have you seen the IT Crowd? I've seen some of the IT Crowd. I need to see it completely in order, and I've got the complete series, so I'm going to do that. Its co-creator is Graham Linehan, arrested in September over mean tweets. Yes. I did a video on it that got crushed by YouTube because I mentioned trans people. So Star Trek canon is as follows. If you want to be serious about it, for one, don't consider, get off your ass and watch Star Trek. So you watch what many people call the original series that I just call Star Trek. You also follow that up with Star Trek, the animated series, which some consider canon, some don't. I do. Then you follow it up with the movies. Then you follow it. Now, if you want to do order of appearance as far as like when did stuff start coming out, I would say it was Star Trek. After Star Trek 4, you could start watching The Next Generation. I would just watch all the movies and then start Next Generation. Yes, watch the Next Generation movies. Yes. They're not great. Yes. But then you have to go into Deep Space Nine and then Voyager and Enterprise. And you have to go into those. You can't just watch Star Trek The Next Generation and then Deep Space Nine. No. So there's an order that you could find on multiple Reddit posts or wherever that show you the order of where you should watch them. Because there's a point where you need to start watching TNG back and forth with DS9. And find the order you prefer. I've done the run through. Well, I was watching them as they came out live. So that's how I watched them. I was back and forth. And there's little, like, it's not like tight like Buffy and Angel was. Buffy and Angel was fucking tight. Back and forth. But yeah. Stop at Enterprise. Stop at Enterprise. Don't go any further. Nothing happens. Did you see Palmer, Lucky, and Rogan? Worth watching. I haven't seen it yet, but Garrett highly recommends it. Iron Frenchie on Rogan, the Lucky guy. They talk military defense, VR, aliens, etc. I am going to watch it. PGMD81 has gifted 2 Rumble subs. Thank you very much. Thank you, brother. Eddie Brock for €5 says, noticed over the weekend that Real BBC 3 are playing repeat of Doctor Who starting with season 5, 11 runs. Very sus considering they skipped RTD's previous 4 runs. Yeah, RTD tarnished his legacy. He did. And you know who hasn't? Actually, Stephen Moffat probably came out looking good. Okay, so, boy, I don't know if I should say this. Well, I mean, he said it publicly. There was another showrunner that was considered over Chibnall that would have been better. I can't tell you his name, but it would have been better. They could have saved themselves, and they decided not to. They decided not to. Holy shit, X-Ray Girl. I'm not. Hang on. All right, we'll go 20 more minutes because I got to get some of these square ups going. We'll go with the real BBC. The Grateful Gamer for $3, not trying to make anagrams. Instead, Tron Ares, activist, regulated, emaciated smegma, audiences rating each shite, absolutely retarded, erroneous slop. Yeah, Tron Ares is shit. X-Ray Girl, could you read a couple? I have to go do something real quick. Are you there? Are you able? I don't care how bad your microphone is.
No, I need to reduce my mic, so I can do that. We got Super Suit for $5 says Anissa wants iDubbbz in the cuck chair, by the way. And he even admitted to aspiring to be like Hassan because Anissa wants to sleep with him. Okay. Gross. Grateful Gamer for $5 says Star Trek Tylenol, the last generation. Hail the real BBC. Thank you, Grateful Gamer. And then Ricky RRV for $10 says, personally only really like 2/3 of the Conjuring films since they were based off real cases. Third one just missed the mark for me. Everything else is just a spin-off, mostly fictionalized stories that loosely throw in real facts or events. Very normie horror. Oh my gosh, I just watched the second Conjuring and it is so freaking good. Excited to see the third, but it from what I hear, it's good, but it's not as good as the first few. So I'm so sorry if I'm too loud. I apologize. You can see you guys in the chat. Simon Wilson with 10 Birch Pound says for the next Mike Arm Fund. And TJ Crink for $5 says, as they grape more of my favorite IPs, I smile and wave less and I close my eyes and think of England more. It's probably way better to do that. Cartman TKE for $1.99 says, nice. Doctor got mine 2-cent pics on X. Real BBC. Thank you, Cartman. Man Bear Pig for $5 says, if you brainstorm an end for Game of Thrones, R.R. Martin might get some inspiration.
Hold the thought on that one. I'll be right there.
Well, it still hasn't. I'm sure a lot of people have made fan theories on how it should end, and I mean, we still haven't gotten it. So Jeremy David for 5 says Dunk is a knight in the same way that Trump should have won the Nobel Peace Prize. What? Okay.
Say that one again. Well, Trump should have won the Nobel Peace Prize for what he did. He's more qualified than fucking Barack Hussein Obama.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So brainstorming an end for Game of Thrones, like I might do an entire live stream. I know many people have done it, but I've actually thought about this quite a bit.
Oh, go to FNT. There was a big Streamlabs that was left after we finished
Okay.
the show.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We should probably almost
Highly
leave that one
recommend.
on. Oh fuck!
I know it happened after the show.
It happened after the show. So we bring this up on Friday.
I will.
Jesus Christ, Quelndar. So Jeremy, being the grifter that he was, he briefly was out grift by Az yesterday, but I think Jeremy ended up crushing him. I don't know. Alls I know is my friends are grifters. Quelndar for $500 fucking dollars. $500. Quelndar. Jesus. Thank you. My God. My God, man. Thank you, X-Ray Girl. So brainstorming an end of A Song of Ice and Fire. I could do that in a stream. I can do that in a stream because I've had a lot of time to think about it because I've reread the books. I lost count. I've reread A Feast for Dragons, the boiled leather version. I set up a playlist, which was a pain in the ass for my audiobooks for that too. And I've gone through the books by character, right? So I just read all the Tyrion stuff, all the Jon Snow stuff. Just I've done that. The Tyrion stuff is peak. It's good. You can tell that's his favorite character. And he has a lot of trouble with Bran because he doesn't have kids. He doesn't know how to write kids at all. He does over-describe, people saying Tolkien over-described shit. George clearly loves food. And I got to give him credit. He makes the food in this horrible country sound good. He makes eating a swan sound good. I wouldn't eat a fucking swan, but he makes it sound good. He does. Man loves his food. But brainstorming the end, I'll just, I love the idea of Jon Snow being the Night King. I love the idea of that the others. I mean, the whites are essentially their slaves. Valerians had slaves. It's a Song of Ice and Fire. And it's trying to position where we have this Valerian family that maybe was part of the doom of Valeria. We don't know. Maybe they didn't like Maybe they didn't like slavery. Slavery's very bad. It's really bad. Bravos, great country. Great island formed with slaves. Faceless men, very bad people, but very good at what they do. Worship the many-faced God. There's only one God. So, that the others might not be the evil that we think they are. It is a Song of Ice and Fire. And I definitely think the end of the show hit the beats of what that Bran is going to be king. Dany's going to die. Jon will be exiled to the north. But there's a lot of other shit we don't know. Like Euron Greyjoy. What are they're obviously setting it he looks like he's on a journey to be an eldritch god. And it looks like magic is making it come back in a big way. But we'll see. I'm guessing the book's never going to finish, but if it was going to finish, the others would have made it past Winterfell. But I think David Lightbringer has a couple of great theories on go watch his Euron Greyjoy videos and his Jon Snow videos. Very good. Very, very good. You might want to leave out that I sent you, but so thank you, Quelndar, Mega Grifters. Mega Grifters. Back to the real BBC. I hate Ruffalo. Will the Hulk ever be redeemed? God, I don't think so. Not till he's recast. Ruffalo has the best Hulk. I mean, he just does. Okay, the best Hulk is in the Avengers. That is the best Hulk. I liked Banner as Bruce Banner. I did. I liked Edward Norton too, and I think Edward Norton was a better Bruce Banner, like by far. But the best version of the Hulk is in the Avengers. Mark Ruffalo is an actor that I used to like quite a bit. Loved him in Zodiac. He's in some rom-com with a ghost in San Francisco, 40 Days and 40 Nights. Is that what it's called? Is that what it's called? It's pretty good. Then he opened his fucking pie hole about politics, and it does affect my view. Why is Cal Arts in everything now? Why is there so many romance novels instead of new high fantasy novels? Women. Steve Williams, women. Andrew Valdez for $4.99. Hey, Mahler, are you going to play the ukulele remake that came out a bit ago? It looks really good. I remember your amazing review about it. He said, well, currently I'm working on a very long video that's going to be released soon. The death of high fantasy in the West should be studied. Well, it has been by a lot of YouTubers and Larry Carrera, who I want to get on a show so we can talk about, he can probably break down better than anybody the sad puppy. Anybody in the chat know what the sad puppy incident was in publishing? And particularly with fantasy book awards. The sad puppies. The sad puppies. Anybody? Hang on a second. So the sad puppies, I remember. So the sad puppies is basically what Gamergate, what was labeled Comicsgate when it was a consumer movement many years ago. It's not that anymore. And whatever the fandom menace was back during Last Jedi days, it was a customer response. Overall, they were all the same things, and they were being invaded. Our hobbies were being invaded at around the same time. The first one was Gamergate, which was, many will say Zoe Quinn, Five Guys, Anita Sarkeesian, all that stuff. And the basis of it was journalism was being compromised because chicks were fucking journalists, whatever. What it really was calling out Marxist bullshit being infiltrated into our entertainment to a unbelievable degree. Put simply, I'm putting it very simply. Same thing was happening in comic books. Same thing then followed in TV and in movies and in publishing. And in publishing, it was sad puppies. And quite frankly, at the time, it was worse. So the impact, what was happening to video games now and a few years ago, what's happening to entertainment, what's happening to comic books, orders of magnitude worse in publishing. And it kind of flew under the radar. One of the people who invited the sad puppy thing in was George R. R. Martin. And basically and I'm gonna butcher this, but it was basically stated that if you write a book about lesbians and sad puppies, you're going to win an award, and not actually based on your merit. You're going to be you're going to win awards based on, this might sound familiar, your identity and the message in your story. Kind of like what we just talked about with One Woke After Another. And, part of being a YouTuber in our sphere is pattern recognition. And we recognize this pattern through publishing, comic books, TVs, movies, knitting, everything. Well, this is what's been happening in our institutions too. But I'd love for Larry to come on and he could break it down much better than I could. Because I was reading about it. George was bringing it up and what's funny is a lot of the people that George invited in tried to cancel him on an award show back in 2020 for mispronouncing a last name. That was some gobbledygook. It'd be like me getting mad if somebody mispronounced my last name if they haven't heard me say it on YouTube. Because one person in the history of fucking time in my life pronounced my last name correctly, and it was Giorgio Tsoukalos. First time he saw my last name, he goes, Beekler. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's just because he knew German. Yeah, that was 5 years ago already. So, and I think it would be really, he could probably explain pretty well what's happening and what's happened to publishing. Pretty well. And the same thing has happened to comic books and games and blah, 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 blah. And none of them have gotten better. I know some people think they've gotten better. I would argue against that. And I would say every fucking metric around would back up my opinion. My 2 credits for $5. The death of high fantasy in the West should be studied, and it will. We have to look at Japan and Korea to get high fantasy stories. Yes, because they are just writing them like Westerners do. And that's, manga, anime people. I love you. But everything was borrowed from the West. You just continued the Western ideals. So now you're doing it better. You just are. FYI, the working title for Star Wars Starfighter is Kit Bash. Make of that what you will. LOL. Jesus, Cameron. Is that the company it's working under? Orange Soda TR for $5. Non-dog people might not understand. Dogs trust you to know what is best for them. That you'll take care of them. It takes a real piece of shit to abuse that trust. Yes. And Hamas Piker is a real piece of shit. He is your typical Hollywood trust fund. He ain't a real commie. Piece of shit. I look at, I have 3 dogs, but our newest one is Remy. It's a lab. She's a chocolate lab. And she is the most adorable thing in existence. I look at that freaking big nose face every morning, and she's got her little pink donut that she carries around everywhere. And it's and she's just fucking happy all the time. Tail wagging. Whatever you're going to do, she is down. Are we going to walk over to the kitchen? That's fucking awesome. Let's go. Dogs are rad. The only thing, X-Ray Girl can attest to this. She doesn't like you looking at your phone. So you'll start looking at your phone and she will with her nose and knock away your phone. Go pay attention to me. We don't deserve dogs. Thanks, News. Yeah, she is a gorgeous dog. Oh, she knows it, by the way. She knows she's pretty. She knows. Oh, she knows. An internet loser, you're not, for $19.99 says, you might consider getting permission from the Unsub guys to do a review of their comedy special once they're done doing the live shows. So glad you enjoyed the San Antonio event. Can't wait for the Denver show. You're going to love it. Okay. The Unsub guys, I laughed more at that show than I have at most stand-up comedy that I've gone to. It was like wall-to-wall laughs. They do crazy shit. Angry Cops is funny as fuck. And that guy's like, he's still in the military and a cop, and he could just be a full-time entertainer. He's that good. Hang on. There we go. All right. Where was I? A jackass of all trades for $10 says, yo, Gary, Quarter Black and I frequent the same movie theaters, so we chop shop when our forces combine. My question, I know Jason Aaron is a bitch, but what are your thoughts on Scalped? A personal fave. Scalped's pretty good, dude. He can write some good stuff. I just think he's a little overrated. But some of his stuff is pretty good. I wouldn't put him in top tier writer, though. Angmar WK for $5 says, hail Gary, sent you a meme on Discord. Hope you like it. Thank you all for what you do. I will check it out. Thank you. But I can't check it out right now. I went to my local pharmacy and it was plastered with Coof ads in 2025. How the fuck are companies not tired of the Coof yet? Stop being a dead horse. Holy crap, says Super Joe and Bros. Well, ask Taylor Lorenz, who still wears like her military grade mask. Hey Gary, been a fan for years. Finally started my own channel. Good. After seeing the horror of Alien Earth, you and FNT crew are all big inspirations. Good luck, films and fiction. Good luck. Have fun. Star Trek animated series could be revived, remastered with AI. I think it was Justine Bateman was talking about that last night. This will absolutely happen. So Rubberface Jeff Bridges in Tron Legacy will eventually be run through AI and fixed. So all bad special effects or considered bad special effects will be fixed. So I'm going to give you a horror story here. They will go through Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and fix the special effects someday, 100%. And they're going to remaster everything via AI because remastering has become too expensive. The people got too expensive. So, and it will be done first with animated shows, probably kid shows. And once it gets cheap, which it will get very cheap. That's what they'll do. And it'll be shitty at first, but eventually it'll get good. Graham Linehan won his case challenging the charges from the London Met. Good. For herdy words, I'm also looking forward to 4chan wasting Ofcom in court. Good. I am too. Go 4chan. SG1 and Atlantis have very good episode overlap. That's what I heard. Have you ever tried blindfolded archery? You don't know what you're missing. I wouldn't be good. I mean, that would be basically me doing archery. There wouldn't be any difference. What movie was most destructive to the U.S.? What is the China syndrome? Who the fuck put Alex Kurtzman in charge of Star Trek? The only good thing about the Kelvin timeline is Carl Urban. He's an amazing actor. Yes, he is. And, well, the people who are in charge of Paramount right now inadvertently put him in charge. They're going to bring Jar Jar back and keep making shitty Star Trek. Janky McJangles for $10. Vox Day says that the problem is Martin has too many characters and he needs to end way more, despite his reputation of ending off his characters. Yeah, he created too many characters. His gardening approach, he planted a bunch of fucking weeds in his garden. To be fair, George R. R. Martin, he did an amazing job writing Elden Ring. The game is spectacular, and the story is great. He's a great writer. He's a great writer. Absolutely. Unquestionably a great writer. Unquestionably. He also has massive impulse control, and he sold you out for Hollywood. I mean, that's just simply put. Is that harsh? Sometimes the truth is. But all of us fans who spent a lot of time, and this is our choice. It was our choice for believing him, who spent our time and money invested in this story, were sold out for Hollywood. He just were. And he can't finish the book. I think he just does owe people honesty. Now, no creative will agree with that because the creatives don't think they're accountable to the audience that makes them famous and rich. But they are, especially in this modern world where everything is customer service. Absolutely everything. You can't hide behind, oh, my boss is actually Marvel or the contractor or this or that. That's your boss. But who pays your bills is the fans. Now they pay it through your boss, but it's still the fans. And if you want to go out and be on social media and take the prominence you get from being attached to a giant corporation, well, that comes with strings. And part of that is not pissing off the potential audience. Most creatives, not all, most creatives are too fucking narcissistic and ego driven to recognize that. And I tell you, this is something I've been bitching about a long time. First time I got banned on Twitter was bitching out Gail Simone for tweeting too much instead of writing fucking Birds of Prey. That was a long fucking time ago. Mikey Gussler for $2 says, hey, Gary, thanks for the follow on the app. You're welcome, buddy. It's great seeing you. Seeing your face. The Internet Loser. I read that one and has become a new member. Welcome. Hail, My Hero Academia mangaka has said he loves American cartoon superheroes. That's the basis of his story and lots of Star Wars names for places. Yeah, that's fine. But they get it from the West. Which comic is like an ending for Wonder Woman? There is one out there, but I don't think I read it. Yamada. The chat can tell you who it is. Eggy Orphan for $5. Hey, Gary, my fiance and I are planning to visit Texas soon. Where do you recommend going? If I left my house enough, I highly recommend going to San Antonio. Many will tell you the River Walk, and you think, oh, it's probably some stupid thing that's overblown. No, it's pretty fucking cool. The River Walk is cool. It's like a very Americanized Venice. And downtown San Antonio is pretty clean for a city of this size, sixth largest city in America. It flip-flops between Austin and San Antonio, but very clean, not that many homeless people. And the Riverwalk is cool and the food is really good. So I'd go there. But other than that, I don't get out very much. Lots of caverns here that are really cool. Lots of caverns. There's dinosaur footprints up north. There's the Robert E. Howard Museum, if you really want to get into nerddom. Up north of me, natural bridge caverns. Those are somewhat near where I live, and they're great. Absolutely great. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, there'll be a part 2 to this one on Thursday night, pending on video schedule, of course. I'm going to be working on one the next couple of days. But you can catch me live tomorrow. Is it on Az's channel tomorrow? X-Ray Girl?
It is on Az's channel.
Yeah. So on Heels versus Babyface, I'll be on with Mahler and Az, and we will be discussing things. Nooner with Chris Gore on Wednesday. Friday Night Tights, who's our guest?
It's a Gundam, and then we also have a guest this Wednesday as well.
Who?
Troy Duffy.
Troy Duffy. Oh. Writer, director of The Boondock Saints.
Yes.
Based
Awesome.
motherfucker. He'll talk about anything. He's great. I fucking love that guy so much.
Yeah.
It's so surreal that we get that. We've talked to him before, and he's great. He's fucking great. That's exciting. That's really cool. So if you guys don't know, there actually is potentially a good movie coming out this Thursday. The movie I have been looking forward to all fucking year, the most, more than anything, is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. And it started a very limited theatrical run last week, but it's wider on this Thursday. So I already got my tickets, and we will be discussing it on Friday Night Tights. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, and I will be doing a review. And I think it's going to be great, Vera. I'm right there with you. It looks fucking dope. It does. I am not discouraged at all about this story. And Guillermo's. I'm trying to think of a movie of his I don't like. I can't. He's a great director. I got to meet him, Vera. I got to meet him at Jimmy Kimmel. I won a Heroes Initiative auction to go. So this helped the Heroes Initiative, and I got to meet Tenacious D and Guillermo del Toro in the green room at Jimmy Kimmel, and then I got to go see the show. Saw Tenacious D play live after the show. This was before Jimmy completely sucked. This was 20 years ago. 2007. So it was, if you're looking for the episode, I don't know if you can even find it. I believe it's season 12, episode 5 or 7. And you could see, like, in the crowd shots, you could see my tattoos. You could see my arms sticking up. But Guillermo del Toro showed me his, he carries around a sketchbook that he's had since he was a kid. He let me leaf through the thing. Holy shit. Holy shit. So I'm a huge fan of Hellboy, and I love his Hellboy movies. Some of my favorite superhero movies. So I can't fucking wait for this movie. I hope it's really good. But it does look pretty freaking dope, Vera. So she's with me on this one. She's with me on this one. Who is there anybody out there we can raid or here, I'll pick.
Okay, I'm checking right now.
Hang on.
It's like a lot of things pending. I know Film Threat is starting in
Go to Film Threat.
5 minutes. So yeah.
Go to Film Threat. Go to Film Threat. Hellboy 2 is better than Hellboy. I'd say rewatch them and maybe rethink that. They're both in 4K. I'm blanking on the bad guy in Hellboy 2. I completely agree with Razorfist's assessment. Is the closest thing you'll ever see to Elric ever in anything live action, unless they do a proper version of Bloodraven in Night of the Seven Kingdom. But dude, Hellboy and the Golden Army, fucking, I'm gonna watch them today. I love those movies so fucking much. Hellboy is, if you want a comic book recommendation, Mike Mignola's Hellboy is everything I love about comics. It's a mix of horror, conspiracy, occult, science fiction. It's everything. And it's fucking great. And it has some of the tightest continuity. It reads like a fantasy series. It does. So if you've not read Hellboy, I would say go get the comics. But if you can't, go get the trades. There's library editions. Cannot recommend Hellboy. And then BPRD after that. Absolute fucking sick comic books. Absolutely sick. All right. Thank you, X-Ray Girl. Thanks to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who left the super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. Obviously, we have a lot of super chats to catch up on from Real BBC and FNT, which we will do Thursday, which means we'll probably have to turn ours off. So make sure we get them done. But thank you for your patience. Thank you for supporting us, guys. We're eternally grateful. It's not lost on us that words can never express our gratitude for, single-handedly, individually, you guys have made Friday Night Tights, as far as our sphere is concerned, as far as a show that is solely dedicated to pop culture, meaning, it's niche, but dedicated to pop culture, genre film, genre TV, pretty much everything nerd that's live action. It is the number one by far show that covers stuff like that. And that's because of you guys. And we really, really appreciate it. Real BBC does an Open Bar are awesome shows. So we've gotten some awesome shows out of this, right? That we get to watch every fucking day. We get to watch Geeks and Gamers Daily. I'm with you. I'm in the chat. I'm watching all these shows, and we are allowed to do this because of you. So thank you for providing us the best gig in the world. Hopefully we will continue to entertain you and not forget to show our gratitude, because we need to do that a lot, because we'd be just talking in the wind without you guys. And I was right there. I was listening to Jeremy and others from work. So I was there, and it's a great hobby, and it's great to see so many other people creating channels. It's very fulfilling. So I don't say it enough, but thank you. You all have a great day. Go say hi to our friend Chris. And may the wings of liberty never lose a feather.